Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are safe, you are well, and you are with people you care about who also care for you. We had snow here at the house. I would like to say it's going to stick around, but it's already starting to melt. I live at about 850 feet, as I've talked about before on the channel, and it appears that yesterday we were right at the kind of the snow line. So if I just show you behind me, you'll see on the house here the snow has already started to melt and it's starting to kind of slip off. Earlier this morning I was in the middle of a meeting and the whole house shook as a bunch of snow fell down from the roof. Now bear in mind it started snowing about 8 a.m. yesterday morning. It snowed on and off throughout the day despite the weather forecast saying that we were going to have mostly rain, and then it snowed again during the night. But already, as you can see, this is definitely melting snow, and it's kind of that horrible slushy wet mess. You can see over here we've already lost a lot of the snow in the covered area right here, which is probably a good thing because look, whoop, I nearly fell over. It's very slippery. This is the second time I've slipped over today, but if you look here, look, we'll see that the garlic is really starting to come up from the ground and is gaining a purchase, and that is really phenomenal. Over here everything else is doing pretty well. I don't believe my raspberries have started to shoot yet. Bear in mind, you know, we are only about halfway through February, but the good news is that because the temperatures have not been particularly cold, my rosemary has just completely escaped unscathed. Over this side of the garden, things are a little bit more snow laden. We tend to get more snow over here, but you can see it's not a huge amount, maybe half an inch. It's really wet stuff, and now it's turned to ice. And so I fully expect this snow to be gone by the end of today. And actually, confession time, I normally film the chicken and garden update after I have filmed 10. If I'm going to film it on the same day, I end up filming after we've filmed 10. It's kind of the last thing I do on a Thursday. Today, I'm actually filming this before I've even started the script for 10 because I wanted you to see how pretty the garden is looking, and I wanted to have a bit of a play in the snow. The chickens are very unimpressed. The snow didn't get into the coop because it was big fat flakes. It wasn't kind of little fine amounts of snow. And I don't know about you, when the snow gets big flakes, I know it's not going to stick around for very long. But the good news is, in the greenhouse, there's been no kind of breach, but you can see how heavy that snow is. It's starting to kind of push in a little bit there on the roof of the greenhouse. But as you may remember from previous videos, we are going to be completely replacing the cover. We've got a new cover on the way, and that is going to be just fine. Here at the chicken coop, look, we've got all the water is already dripping off at a precipitous clip. But the chickens are now fully graduated on their feeder. You can see Carolyn is helping herself there to some feed, and I really cannot recommend that Grandpa's old chicken feeder enough. Also, this my water tube, which was originally a rugged ranch, and then obviously I put the hydro hen on the bottom. That has worked phenomenally well. You know, I was away for the best part of a week, came back, and there was still water in there. Everyone was still happy, and everything was working as it should. And while I haven't really done a whole lot of planting yet, the hens are now officially laying. That said, doesn't look like I have any eggs today. These are actually fake eggs. They're just fake eggs designed to encourage the hens to lay in an appropriate place. And Grace's daughter, if you might remember Grace, She died a couple of years ago. She was taken out by a coyote. Grace's daughter has been laying eggs, and also so has Carolyn's daughter. They've both been laying eggs, which has been wonderful because it means that I'm not going to the store and buying eggs. And right now, money's a bit tight. I'm very grateful that we haven't had to go and buy eggs. Also, I just want to show you this because a lot of people have asked about it. It's not really chicken or garden, but it is kind of related to my life up here in the mountains. This is a 3D printed cover that I found online. Somebody else designed it, and it works really well because it stops the snow from getting inside the charge port, and it makes it much easier to open and remove or unlock and remove the charge station when we need to do that. So how much has survived the snow? Well, I don't know. I was worried that we would have a moment like this, and Erin and I were actually talking about this on our road trip a couple of weeks ago, about how I was worried that we were going to end up with basically this very scenario where everything started to grow and then suddenly we had a really cold spell and things got really bad. And right now, aside from me slipping a third time, we haven't got much in the way of buds yet on the trees. So if you look here at the apple tree is thinking about budding, and I need to come in and clip some of these branches off. This apple tree is thinking about budding. The cherry tree is thinking about budding, but again, we don't actually have any flowers yet, and I think that's going to give us a little bit more positivity there. Now, as you can see, I don't know if you can see right now, it is thinking about raining, but I want to bring you over here to talk about one final thing that we've finally done. And that is, we finally put in another camera system. Now, I will preface this with, I know that there are some issues with the company that we bought hardware from. We already bought hardware before I was aware of these issues. But in here, we have made like a little box. And inside here we have a Ubiquiti network switch and a power adapter. We've got some fans here, and this is powering this little camera here so we can better see what's going on with the garden. So we now have a proper security setup there. I'm going to point a camera down that way. I'll probably point one for my neighbour's driveway as well, and that should make things a little bit easier for all of us really, and provide a little bit more security. I know we've had some issues recently with people doing things that they shouldn't, and so having a little bit of extra security is a bonus. It's also a bonus because the world in America, or rather living in America in 2026, is not necessarily as pleasant as we might want it to be. And so just having that extra security there is going to be a bit of a bonus. I should also note, because I'm sure someone would have noticed it, despite us saying that we were getting rid of Starlink, and we have cancelled our Starlink contract, we do still have the physical dish up on the roof, and that is for one reason and one reason only. I have not been well enough to get up on the roof and remove it. I do intend to do that at some point in the next couple of months, but if you look right now, see if I can do this without showing off my house's address. If you look right now, you'll see that it's in that vertical position, which means it's completely stowed. So even though it's still on the roof, we're not using it anymore. And ironically, our internet has been more stable. Who knew? Anyway, I hope that you are well, that you are safe. If you experienced the super cold weather at the beginning of this year, have you recovered? I know it's been a lot warmer in large parts of America. I know it's been very cold in some parts of Europe, so let me know how you're coping there. And if you're in warmer parts of the world, or indeed in the southern part of the world, let me know how your end to the summer is progressing. I hope you have some wonderful harvests. And let's start a nice positive discussion in the down below. As usual, thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by. They are the reason that we are still here. They support us from $1.50 a month on Patreon and YouTube. You can also support us by sending us Ko-fi. You can also send us one-off checks if that's your thing. We have a PO box which is listed on our company website. Please go to transportevolved.com and the contact page if you want to know that. Don't just look up our address and randomly send it, because there are a lot of places online that don't have the right address for us. Something that I don't have any control over, because data brokers are horrible and they are a real thing. You can also tell your friends, family, co-workers, and hey, even your mortal enemies about the network. Maybe they'll enjoy it. Maybe it's a form of torture for your least liked people in your life. Anyway, tell them about this channel and what we do. Obviously the main channel, but also this channel, which is Transport Evolved Take 2, which is much more informal than the main channel and much less EV focused. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day. Be kind to each other. Be wonderful. Be that positive change you want to see in the world. And I will see you this time next week. Oh, and by the way, sorry for the delay last week and there not being a video here, because we had an accident. We're okay. We're okay now. Keep evolving.